Imagine opening Amazon, searching for a simple book, and seeing the price listed at $23 million. It sounds impossible, but it actually happened. A tiny $1 pricing rule buried inside two competing algorithms spiraled out of control and created one of the strangest glitches in internet history. And it happened at the worst possible time because the company founded by Jeff Bezos was already on the edge of collapse during the dot-com bubble. This is the story of the mistake that almost destroyed Amazon. In the early 1990s, the internet looked nothing like the digital world we know today. There were no streaming services, no social media giants, no billion-dollar online marketplaces. Most people had never even heard of the internet, and those who had usually saw it as a strange tool used mainly by scientists, universities, and a handful of technology enthusiasts. Web pages were slow to load, graphics were basic, connections often dropped without warning. To the average person, the internet seemed confusing and unreliable. But to a few visionary thinkers, it looked like the beginning of a massive technological revolution. One of those visionaries was a young Wall Street executive named Jeff Bezos. At the time, Bezos was working at D.E. Shaw & Co., a highly respected hedge fund based in New York. The company was known for combining finance with advanced computer technology. It specialized in using powerful algorithms and data models to identify profitable opportunities in the market. Bezos quickly became one of the firm's rising stars. Colleagues described him as intensely analytical, incredibly curious, and unusually driven. Within a few years, he rose through the ranks and became one of the youngest senior vice presidents in the company's history. His career path looked almost perfect. He had a high-paying job, he worked with brilliant people, and he had a clear path toward becoming extremely wealthy in finance. But everything changed when Bezos came across one extraordinary statistic. While researching new technology trends, he discovered that internet usage was growing at an astonishing rate. The number of people using the web was increasing by 2,300% per year. To put that into perspective, very few industries in human history had ever grown that quickly. To Bezos, this statistic wasn't just interesting, it was a signal that the internet was about to transform the global economy. He realized that if the internet was growing that fast, entirely new types of businesses would soon emerge, businesses that could exist entirely online. So Bezos began thinking, what kind of product would make sense to sell on the internet? He started making a list of possible categories: software, music, office supplies, electronics, clothing. Eventually, he narrowed the list down to about 20 different products, but one category stood out immediately: books. There were millions of books in the world, yet even the largest physical bookstores could only carry around 150,000 titles at most. Shelf space limited everything. A bookstore could only sell what it physically had room to display. But the internet had no shelves. An online bookstore could theoretically sell every book ever printed. Customers could search through an unlimited catalog and order exactly what they wanted. The idea was simple, but the implications were enormous. Bezos realized that an online bookstore could offer something no physical retailer ever could: unlimited selection. At that moment, the idea for his company was born. But there was one major problem. To build this company, Bezos would have to leave his comfortable career on Wall Street. He would have to start a risky business in an industry that barely existed. Most people would have stayed in their safe job, but Bezos approached the decision differently. He created a mental exercise that he later called the regret minimization framework. He imagined himself at the age of 80, looking back on his life. He asked himself a simple question. Would he regret leaving his job to try building an internet company? Possibly, but he realized he would regret something else far more, not trying at all. That realization made the decision clear. In 1994, Bezos resigned from his position at D.E. Shaw & Co. He decided to build his internet bookstore. But first, he needed the right location. Bezos eventually chose Seattle. Seattle had two major advantages. First, it was close to one of the largest book distributors in the United States, which made logistics easier. Second, the city had a growing technology community filled with talented engineers. So Bezos and his wife Mackenzie Scott packed their belongings and began driving across the country from New York to Seattle. During the long road trip, Bezos worked on the business plan for his company. The journey took several days, and during those days, the blueprint for what would become one of the most powerful companies in history slowly took shape. At the time, Bezos didn't even know what the company would be called. One early idea was a name called Cadabra, inspired by the word abracadabra. The idea was that the shopping experience would feel magical. But there was a problem. When Bezos mentioned the name to a lawyer over the phone, the lawyer misheard it as cadaver. Not exactly the image you want associated with your business. So Bezos decided to look for another name. He wanted something that suggested scale, something that felt massive. Eventually, he found the name Amazon. The Amazon River is the largest river in the world. Bezos wanted his store to become the largest store on Earth. The name fit perfectly. In 1995, the website for Amazon officially launched, but the company was incredibly small. Operations ran out of Bezos' garage. Employees built desks out of wooden doors to save money. Computers were stacked around the room. Orders were packed manually. Every book had to be located, wrapped, and shipped by hand. To celebrate every order, Bezos installed a small bell in the office. Each time a customer placed an order, the bell would ring. At first, the bell rang only a few times per day. But then something unexpected happened. Orders began increasing rapidly. Within weeks, Amazon was shipping books across the entire United States. Soon, orders began arriving from other countries as well. The bell started ringing more and more often. Eventually, it rang so frequently that employees had to turn it off because it became distracting. Amazon was growing faster than anyone expected. But rapid growth created a serious problem. The company was losing money. Shipping books was expensive. Building technology infrastructure was expensive. Hiring engineers was expensive. Every new customer meant more costs. Many startups would slow down spending in order to become profitable, but Bezos believed that speed mattered more than profits. His philosophy was simple: get big fast. The idea was that if Amazon grew quickly enough, it could dominate the online book market before competitors had time to catch up. So instead of slowing down, Bezos increased spending. Amazon invested heavily in technology. It expanded warehouses. It hired more engineers. The company continued growing rapidly. Then, in 1997, Amazon made a huge move. The company went public. Its initial public offering raised about $54 million. Suddenly, Amazon had the capital needed to expand even faster. But success also attracted powerful enemies: the biggest bookstore chain in the United States, Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble dominated the traditional book industry. The company had hundreds of massive physical stores across the country. Its supply chain relationships were enormous, and it had far more resources than Amazon. When Barnes & Noble launched its own website, executives openly mocked Bezos. They argued that Amazon was not the world's largest bookstore. They called it a small startup pretending to be one. The battle between traditional retail and online retail had officially begun. But while Amazon focused on growing its marketplace, something unexpected was happening behind the scenes. A new system was being introduced that would change how products were sold on the platform. Instead of selling only its own inventory, Amazon began allowing outside merchants to sell products on the site. These merchants became known as third-party sellers. The system seemed brilliant. More sellers meant more products. More products meant more customers. More customers meant more revenue. But the marketplace also introduced something dangerous: intense price competition. Sellers constantly tried to offer lower prices than their rivals. To compete more efficiently, many sellers began using automated pricing software, algorithms that could adjust prices instantly. At first, the technology seemed helpful, but hidden inside those automated systems was a flaw that would soon create one of the strangest pricing mistakes in internet history. A mistake that would cause a simple book listing to explode to over $23 million and reveal how dangerous competing algorithms could become. That mistake would soon become one of the most famous stories in the history of Amazon. But the pricing glitch was only the beginning, because an even bigger disaster was about to hit the entire internet industry: the collapse of the dot-com bubble. And when that crash arrived, it would push Amazon closer to bankruptcy than anyone outside the company ever realized. The company that once looked unstoppable would suddenly be fighting for survival. By the late 1990s, Amazon was growing faster than almost anyone expected. What had started as a tiny online bookstore operating out of a garage in Seattle was quickly becoming one of the most talked about companies on the internet. Every month, more customers were discovering the convenience of ordering books online. Instead of driving to a physical store, searching through shelves and hoping a title was in stock, customers could simply type a book title into a search bar and have it delivered directly to their door. It was a radically different retail experience, and people loved it. But Jeff Bezos wasn't satisfied with building just an online bookstore. He had a much bigger vision. He wanted Amazon to become the everything store, a place where customers could eventually buy almost anything. To achieve that goal, Bezos introduced one of the most important innovations in Amazon's history: the Amazon Marketplace. Instead of selling only products owned by Amazon itself, the company would allow third-party sellers to list their own items on the platform. Anyone could sign up: independent bookstores, small businesses, collectors, entrepreneurs. If they had products to sell, they could reach Amazon's rapidly growing customer base. The strategy was brilliant. Every new seller increased the total number of products available on the platform. More products meant more variety. More variety meant more customers. And more customers meant Amazon would become even more attractive for new sellers. It was a powerful network effect. The marketplace grew quickly. Within a short time, thousands of sellers were listing books and other products on Amazon. But the system also created something Bezos had anticipated but couldn't fully control: extreme price competition. Each seller wanted their product listing to appear as the best deal available. If two sellers offered the same book, customers would usually buy from whoever offered the lower price. This created a constant race to undercut competitors. If one seller priced a book at $20, another seller might list it at $19.95. Then another might lower the price to $19.99. Prices changed constantly, sometimes dozens of times in a single day. For large sellers managing thousands of products, manually adjusting prices became impossible. So many sellers turned to technology. They began using automated pricing algorithms. These algorithms monitored competitors' prices and automatically adjusted listings. If another seller lowered their price, the software could instantly respond by lowering the price slightly more. It was like a digital price war, but the battle was happening between machines. At first, the system worked exactly as intended. Prices remained competitive. Customers benefited from lower costs. Sales increased. But no one fully understood how unpredictable automated systems could become when they started interacting with each other. One strange example would eventually become famous across the internet. It involved a scientific book called The Making of a Fly. The book itself wasn't particularly rare or valuable. It was simply a biology textbook about fruit flies and genetics. Two different sellers listed the book on Amazon.
Both sellers used automated pricing software. Seller A programmed their algorithm with a simple rule. Their price would always be 99% of seller B's price.
That way, their listing would always appear slightly cheaper. Seller B used a different strategy. Their algorithm set the price at 101% of seller A's price. Their goal wasn't to be cheaper. Instead, they assumed their listing looked more professional and reliable, so they priced slightly higher. Individually, both strategies seemed reasonable, but when both algorithms started interacting, something strange happened. Seller A's algorithm lowered its price slightly. Seller B's algorithm reacted by increasing its price slightly. Seller A reacted again. Seller B reacted again. Back and forth, over and over. The two algorithms began chasing each other in a strange digital loop. But instead of pushing prices down, the feedback loop pushed prices upward, higher and higher. The price began rising rapidly, first to $100, then $500, then $1,000. Soon the listing reached $10,000. At that point, something unusual was happening. No human seller was watching closely enough to notice the bizarre price changes. The algorithms were running automatically. Hours passed, then days, and the price kept climbing. Eventually, the listing price reached something unbelievable, over $23 million for a single copy of a biology textbook. The absurd listing quickly caught the attention of internet users. And that's when things started to get strange. On the surface, Amazon looked unstoppable. Customers were flooding the platform, investors were pouring in money, and the company founded by Jeff Bezos was growing faster than anyone had imagined. But behind the scenes, something was quietly going wrong. Two automated pricing algorithms designed to compete with each other had started a silent war, a war that no human was watching. Price after price began changing automatically, higher and higher and higher, until one ordinary book suddenly appeared on Amazon with a price tag of $23 million. At first, it looked like a harmless glitch, but that bizarre mistake would reveal a dangerous flaw in the system. And it couldn't have happened at a worse time, because at that exact moment, the entire internet economy was about to collapse during the dot-com bubble. And when that crash arrived, even Amazon would be pushed to the edge of survival. But that part of the story is where things get really crazy.